Everyone dreams of good things in life, especially as they come of age, and parents are often overjoyed at the thought of their children getting married. Such was the case of my friend Ada, until what happened next left everyone completely stunned. I will never forget what happened to Ada. She was just 19, full of life, and had a heart that believed in love. Everyone in our neighborhood knew her. The way she walked, the way she laughed, it was hard not to notice her. But what happened to Ada changed her, and it changed me too. This is the story. The way I saw it, the way I heard it, and the way it all fell apart. It started the day Ada told me she was getting married. I was sitting under the big mango tree in front of her compound when she rushed over, all smiles and excitement. Guess what? She said, pulling me up from the wooden bench where I was half asleep. What is it? I mumbled, still drowsy. I'm getting married. Her words woke me up completely. I stared at her face, trying to see if she was joking. She wasn't. Ada's eyes were bright, and her smile stretched from her ear to ear. Married? To who? I asked, confused. To Chike, she said softly. Her voice was full of pride. Chike was 29, a man older than her by 10 years. He wasn't a stranger in our neighborhood. Everyone knew him too. He was tall, quiet, and always wore a serious expression. He has been living in another part of the country, but came back some months ago to start a business, same state where Ada lives. People said he was a hardworking man. Are you sure about this, Ada? I asked, trying to hide the worry I felt in my chest. Yes, Chi, and he will take care of me, she said confidently. I wanted to argue. I wanted to tell her to wait. She was too young, but I kept quiet. Ada had always been stubborn. Once she made up her mind, nothing could stop her. The wedding happened quickly. It wasn't big, just a few friends and family. Chike's house was the next compound to ours, so I could still see Ada every day. At first, she seemed happy. She would wave at me from their small balcony or come over in the evenings to gist about how married life was treating her. But slowly, things started to change. The first time I noticed, it was in her eyes. The brightness was no longer there. She still smiled, but it was small and forced, like it cost her something to move her lips. I asked her if everything was okay, and she said, yes, I'm fine, Chi. I'm just tired. I didn't believe her. Soon, people in the neighborhood began to whisper. They said Chike had a temper. They said they heard shouting coming from their house late at night. I tried not to listen, but the whisper grew louder. Then one day, I saw it with my eyes. It was early in the morning, and I was fetching water from the neighborhood borehole. I turned and saw Ada walking slowly down the path. Her head was bent, her wrapper hugged loosely around her shoulder. There was a mark on her arms, a deep red bruise that looked fresh. Ada, I said softly. She looked up at me and froze. Her eyes were filled with tears, but she blinked them away quickly. What happened to your arm? I asked. She pulled her wrapper up and tried to cover it. It's nothing. I fell, she said softly. You fell? Ada, tell me the truth. I pressed. She shook her head and walked away. After that day, things got worse. The bruises became more frequent. Ada stopped coming over to our compound. and whenever I saw her, she would avoid my eyes. Her laughter, the same laughter that once lit up our town, disappeared completely. One evening, I couldn't take it anymore. I marched to Chike's house and knocked hard on the door. When he opened it, his face was dark and angry. "What do you want?" he barked. "I want to see Ada," I said, my voice shaking but steady. "Ada is busy. Go home," he said, and tried to shut the door. But I didn't move. "I know what you are doing to her. You can't hide it forever," I said boldly. For a moment, I thought he would hit me too, but instead he laughed. It was a short, cold laugh that made my skin crawl. "Go and mind your business, girl," he said, slamming the door in my face. I wanted to scream. I wanted to tell the whole town, but I didn't know what to do, and Ada refused to say anything. Weeks turned into months, and Ada became a shadow of herself. She was thin and weak, and her face was always pale. I begged her to leave Chike to come back to her father's house, but she wouldn't listen. "Where will I go, Chi?" she asked one day. Her voice was flat and empty. "This is my fate now." I cried that night, cried for my friend who was wrapped in a life she didn't deserve. Then one morning, everything came to light. The town woke up to news that Ada had been taken to the hospital. Some neighbors said they heard her screaming in the middle of the night, but no one went to help. When I got to the hospital, I saw her lying on the bed, barely breathing. Her face was swollen and her body was covered in bruises. The doctor said Chike had beaten her until she passed out. When Chike was arrested, the whole town erupted. Some people said he should have been stopped long ago. Others said, "Why didn't Ada leave?" But I knew why. I knew how hard it was for her to walk away from the dream she had held onto so tightly. Ada survived, but she was never the same again. Her spirit was broken and her laughter never returned. I stayed by her side as much as I could, hoping that one day she would heal. I still see her sometimes sitting quietly in front of her house where we used to talk. And every time I see her, I think about how quickly a dream can shatter and how sometimes even the strongest hearts can break. So, I want to ask you, have you ever met someone in this situation? Have you ever met someone in Ada's case? What is your advice for her? Please, if you have watched this video till now, just click the like button so that YouTube algorithm will help me push it to more audience out there. And don't forget to subscribe. I ask again, have you ever met someone in Ada's situation? If you have, please share your story in the comment section. Let's talk about it. I will be posting a video soon talking about 5 things you should never do as a young girl before getting married. Let's learn from Ada's story so that no one else will go through this. This is not just Ada. It's the story of so many women like her. Women whose dreams were taken away by the very people who promised to love them. I will never forget Ada, and I will never forget what happened to her. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.